Living Heritage is designed to highlight, examine, and celebrate elements of the rich cultural heritage of St. Kitts and Nevis. Journey with us as we explore our distinct and immersive culture. Welcome to a life of pride in our past and confidence in our present and future. Welcome to Living Heritage. Welcome to Living Heritage, ICH documentary series of St. Kitts and Nevis. Ready for a nice cool drink of bush tea? You heard me right. Today, we are going to sit with an agro-processor in St. Kitts who decided to take bush tea to the next level. Not just hot, but cold chillers. If you have been following us, you would have realized that the subject falls under the ICH domain of knowledge and practice concerning nature and the universe, and the element is bush tea. While bush tea can be used to cure various health ailments, it can also be a soothing, refreshing drink, as you will soon see. This traditional knowledge bearer also attributes the use of bush medicine to our connection to Africa. By the time TKB Jermine Mike has finished explaining, you may have a different perspective about his element, refreshing bush teas.
My name is Jermine Mike. I am half owner of Mother Becky Bush Tea. My partner, Sarah Ramirez, is not here with us today. Unfortunately, she's off island, but her and I, we own Mother Becky Bush Tea. Question I could say from since I was a little boy, around at least maybe, I think I've been drinking bush tea before I could pronounce my name, I suppose, right? So if I have to give you a real age, maybe I could say 5 or so, right? But you only started to get some understanding more so when you're maybe around, just before you reach high school and those kind of things. And so I will have to put it around that age. I learned it from a plethora of people. I started out with my immediate family, which is my mother, but then I also had a great-grandmother that was still alive at the time, Mother Becky, who the business is aptly named after. And then I also had my grandmothers, both on my mother and father's side. Then there are others within the community that would offer their assistance in terms of knowledge and what's not. And even after I got into the business of producing our local teas, you would have strangers actually would come and say, well, Mr. Mike, how about you use this tea leaf too, because it's very good for this or it's very good for that. Sometimes I didn't even know, right? So that is where I got some of my knowledge. So it's a family effort, it's a community effort, and it's also part of the research that I've done from international the arena as well. I mean, there's Dr. Whitaker, who has written a book on it. It's being sold on Amazon right now. He has done extensive knowledge in it. As a matter of fact, his knowledge is as a scientist and as a person that knows about our local flora. It's very impactful in terms of what I know. The ones that I use right now, lemongrass. The Jamaicans know it as fever grass. I suppose that vernacular has even came here as fever grass as well. But people typically use it for when they have fever, right? Although they consume it, just naturally and so forth, it's typically used for fever. Then they have mint, right? Whether that is peppermint or spearmint and so forth. Typically it's used for helping in digestion. And there's basil. That is generally used for the general upkeep. Can take it for colds and so forth, but if you have a cold, you typically wouldn't use it per se. It's just something you take. The old adage, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, a basil bush tea a day keeps the doctor away, I suppose, right? So that's some. And you know, the soursop, where you know, they say that typically it is said, and I can't prove this one, but typically it's said that, you know, babies and children, when they drink it, it gives them a kind of drowsy feeling. And when I read Dr. Whitaker's book, it actually does have something in there that can explain that. However, I would say that I have consumed it for a very long time. It doesn't work on me. It may give me somewhat of a more relaxing sleep, but that is if I want to go to sleep. So, you know, it helps me to go to sleep. Currently, I have in the tea bags and so forth, and I started out doing tea bags because, well, I shouldn't say I started out. I first started out with doing loose leaf tea. I packaged it in the crackers bag, the traditional crackers bag and so forth. But I only had that for the tourist market, and I only did it for the tourist market because I knew the stigma associated with it, and I didn't think that locals would want to buy it. So I packaged it for that, and that would include mint, basil, lemongrass, and soursop. You know, it has this kind of thing where it's a poor people thing. Only poor people does use that. You only use it. You only would use this type of tea if you're sick. Other than that, I would be drinking coffee or Milo or something like that. You know, I only drink it because I am sick. So that is the stigma, and as well as it's just something that I just grow in me out. If I want it, I go back for it and so forth. So, you know, that it has that kind of negative stigma on it, right? So that's what I would say, as it pertains to that. I kept meeting people, and they asked me, well, how come you just leave out the locals? So I started to do the tea bags, and I started doing the same 4 flavors. However, the basil and mint wasn't really selling very well, right? So I like basil and mint together. And so I combine them, and now it's one of my best sellers. So I have mint basil with a hint of ginger and so forth. But that is in tea bag flavor. And I have the soursop, which a lot of foreigners do still buy that, and expats abroad come and buy that. I have the lemongrass, and I have a lemongrass, moringa, and ginger tea bag.
We'll be right back with more from Jermine Mike after these ads.
Check on your battery. Check. Emergency center. Check. Store up your water. Check. And board up your window. Check. So you got to place it. Check. Before it is too late. Disaster could happen anytime, any place. Check on your elders. Check. And your insurance. Check. Secure the animals. Check. Tie down the gas tank. Check. Don't intoxicate. You got to play it safe. Disaster could happen anytime, any place.
For more information, contact your National Emergency Center today. Before the storm, stock up on perishable foods to last at least 24 hours. Secure important documents. Full up on gasoline. Remove boats and fishing pots from the water. During the storm, unplug electrical appliances. Do not go outside. Listen to your radio station. After the storm, do not go sightseeing. Make sure the entire family is okay and assess and photograph all damages.
Check on your battery. Check. Emergency center. Check. Store up your water. Check. And board up your window. Check. So you got to place it. Check. Before it is too late. Disaster could happen anytime, any place.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Welcome to the Sinkers Craft House. This is where life begins, and what we create will leave you speechless. We train, we create, we promote, and we maintain the highest standards. Experience life for yourself. The premier craft and production facility in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Living Heritage continues as Jermine Mike recalls how he first started making cold bush tea chillers.
And then due to my travels abroad and so forth, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of countries do have iced teas. I've even seen it on our shelves. So I said, well, since we have it in one way, let me try and innovate it and innovate our local product, a local commodity that we have always taken for granted, and see if I can do something different. And so I made cold brew blends. And that is how I ended up with turmeric ginger blend, which is a very good seller. It seems like sometimes I can't have enough of it. A lemongrass ginger, I've told that is a very good thirst quencher. Then I have a sorrel mint. Doesn't really have in too much sugar, but those people that have had diabetes and so forth often do meet me on the street and thank me for it, because I said typically there is nothing on the shelves for them to drink that doesn't have in so much sugar. And then what is the last one? The traditional sorrel. We all know the traditional sorrel, it's just that I have reduced the sugar significantly, so pardon me. I know we are living in Sugar City, but we also do need to look at our health as well. My experience as an agro-processor has not been a positive one. It has been a life. If it was solely for if I was solely doing agro-processing, I will be living a life of poverty and hardship. The things that you want to do, the resources that you would like to access and so forth, not really available. Additionally, you have a hard time in selling to your own local people when trying to get your things across. And people, they will always tell you, you will always see them say, you're not advertising enough, and you're not, but in the media that we have is expensive to advertise, and when you do find the money to advertise, people are still going to tell you you're not advertising enough. But could it be that sometimes they see your product and they just see that it's local, so they're just passing over it, which often happens. And so it's almost sometimes like it's a guilt trip to you to tell you you are not advertising enough for them passing over your product. And that is how, it's not just my feeling, this is the feeling of many other agro-processors when they come in. Even when they produce the traditional guava cheese, which is, it's something that everybody knows, and the jams and so forth. It often seems that we would prefer to buy a guava jam in the supermarket than our local agro-processor. Well, government has a big role to play, probably the biggest role, next to the owner of the business, right? I may put them somewhat, even though I would put government a little bit higher. And the reason why is because they're the policy makers. And without the proper policy in place, such as the way that taxes are calculated and so forth, right? Such as the incentives that are given to you, so, in terms of duty-free and those kind of things, such as maybe grants provided and the assistance in terms of testing your product, having the avenue to get your product, not just in St. Kitts and Nevis, but abroad. These mechanisms come from government. And with the individual now, the individual has to ensure that he or she is able to navigate these policies that are in place, the challenges that are there, to make sure that your product is of a reasonable or maybe even exceeding other quality of goods that are there, because you're a local person, you need to show that you have a very good quality product. In addition to that, and the last one would be the private sector. The private sector would be those establishments that can take our products and put it on shelves, right? And so I find that sometimes we may have some issues in them accepting the product. Perhaps they probably don't trust it. I don't know why, but I've never really delved deep into that to see why they do not trust it. In addition, they kind of make things a little bit difficult in terms of they will take your product on consignment. However, when bringing in something, you have to spend the money. You feed our people with a product that you do not necessarily know if we would want to accept it. You buy it in large quantities and cut your losses wherever possible. We can see it in the dump most of the time. However, you have the opportunity to take smaller quantities that sometimes may cost a few $100s. The loss is quite minimal. Yet, you have a hard time to get your product and being paid up front. Well, I would say the plus for buying something local is that you are very familiar with the product. You have, even if you do not make it yourself, you have some kind of idea of how the product is being made. You have an idea of what is in the product. You also know that when a product is locally made, it usually doesn't have in the negative preservatives that could affect your body, right? However, sometimes I could understand from a perspective of the local man not wanting to buy a local product simply because our products can be expensive. Through no fault of ours, through no fault of ours, it just has to deal with government policy why our product is so expensive. But I can understand, because how can you tell, for example, my drink costs around $9. How can I watch a mother of 3 or a father of 3 or even a nuclear family? How can I convince them to buy a product that is for all of them for $8.99? Buy one product for all of them for $8.99. So I could understand where sometimes they may be coming from in terms of why they would pass over your product. Nevertheless, I still want to encourage them to buy local. I would say that our local agro-processors we are all businessmen and women trying to survive. I would say also try to give us a chance. There are reasons beyond our control why our products are expensive. It's not within our control. Trust me, we are not trying to rob you. Sometimes our profit margin is a measly 20%, right? So I would say if you can afford it, and if you have some kind of camaraderie towards us, I am hoping that you can help support us to grow. Maybe by helping us to grow, we can actually bring a better quality, but also cheaper product to your door.
Another traditional knowledge bearer who was featured on Living Heritage in the domain of the knowledge and practices of nature and the universe is Victoria Bocom Berkeley. Listen as she instructs the campers at our recent ICH Core Knowledge Transfer Camp.
We gotta find out what exactly is in some of these things that are so good for us. Why should we eat it? Now, I know a lot of you have never thought about eating moringa or noonie, yes? Good for the body, absolutely, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. First, we're going to talk about this moringa and why. See, you know what might happen at some point? There might come a time when we can't export food into the country. And so we may not be able to get all of these good vegetables and fruits that we're used to eating. So then now we're going to learn how to eat the things that we grow and you did not even know how nutritious it is, right? So let's talk about this moringa. Moringa has a lot of vitamins and nutrients in it. So we're going to talk first about vitamin A. Vitamin A is important for normal vision, the immune system, your reproduction, and your growth and development. Also, all of this is in this. Vitamin A also helps your heart, your lungs, and other organs work properly. You know that? So, you see, this is, and look, Noonie has the same vitamin A. When you go home, I want you to think about this and say, Mother or Father or whoever it is, did you know that we could use this in our rice? That we could put moringa in our rice or our noonie in our rice and we could have a nutritious meal? So if you can't get your broccoli or you can't get your lettuce or whatever that you like so much, we have things growing right on the tree that is so nutritious for you and your bodies, and it tastes good too. Then you got vitamin B. You got so many vitamin B's in this. I'm telling you. Now, vitamin B, let me tell you what the vitamin B will do for you. It's fuel for your body to produce energy. Now, you all as children, you need energy. Don't you need energy? Don't you need energy to play? Don't you want, no, you don't need energy to play? Well, what you need energy for? Wait. Say that out loud. Oh, to sleep all day. No, is that what you want to do as you being so young? Okay, what about? To do what? Oh, what did he say? Something useful. Yes, you need energy for this, right? That's very, very good. Now, you talking about sleeping all day, so you really need to get some vitamins in you. Because if that's what you want to do at this age, we need to pep you up. We need to make sure that you're getting the proper nutrients so you would never want to sleep all day. But you do want to sleep at night. And that's very important for your growth, but not all day. Then we have the vitamin B. And this also breaks down your proteins, your fats, your carbohydrates, and it also helps in your energy supply, providing you with your energy. Well, we have a lot of B vitamins in both of these, so they're going to give you the nutrients and the energy that you need so that you can play. Have you ever noticed, like, you're now not even listening to me? Now, when you're in school, have you ever had to take an exam and your brain just wasn't functioning right? Yes, I know that because that has happened to me. But you know why? The foods that you're eating is not giving you the proper nutrients that you need for your brain to operate properly. You're probably eating the cheese curls and all of the kind of junk food that you love, and you're getting too much sugar. And you know what's happening? It's taking away your energy. It's not allowing the oxygen to flow into the brain. You see what? Now today, I'm just talking about the nutritional value of the herbs because I think it's very important. The next time you drink, how many of you drink bush tea? Okay, so just a few? Oh my goodness, I thought everybody in the Caribbean drank bush tea. Well, you know what? When you're drinking your bush tea, you're drinking your vegetables that have all of these nutrients that you need. So the next time your mother or your grandmother or your father say, look, I want you to drink some bush, drink it, drink up. Because look, these probably have more nutrients in it than that tea that you buy from the supermarket. Did you know that? Our local foods are far more superior than the foods that you buy in the supermarket that's packaged so beautifully that make you want to buy it, right? So next time you can go right out to your backyard and pick up lemongrass and basil and the different kind of teas. Drink it because it's full of nutrients for your body. And a lot of times we're not getting the proper vegetables. Unfortunately, sometimes that I notice that we might have a piece of lettuce, a tomato, and maybe a cucumber. And then we say, that's our vegetable. But you're not getting your proper nutrients. So when you're drinking your bush tea, remember, that's a vegetable. And that vegetable is good for your body. Don't you want to grow up strong? Do you want to be sick? Do anybody here want to be sick? Because you know people who's sick. Don't you know people who've been sick? It's not nice being sick, right? Okay. Now, does anybody know what vitamin C is for? What fruits or who knows something about vitamin C? Wait, don't talk out of your, raise your hand. I'm happy to know that you know this. Which one? Well, somebody said it over here. Who said it here? What did you call, what you said was? Orange.
The campers weren't quite ready to try cold brews or chillers. Thank you for viewing this week's Living Heritage that was all about bush tea, hot and cold. And we thank our traditional knowledge bearer, Jermine Mike, as well as Victoria Bolcom Berkeley. Mike is certainly an advocate for offering incentives that will ensure the survival of small business, specifically agro-processors. Do you agree with him? Send us a message at any of our social media platforms and tell us what you think. Is there still a stigma attached to the drinking of bush tea? And Victoria Bolcom Berkeley is just doing her thing and making sure she passes on the traditional knowledge to the upcoming generations. And don't forget to like and subscribe our pages and channel. That's Facebook at SKNICH or ICHSKN, YouTube at St. Kitts Culture, and X or Twitter at St. Kitts Culture. Join us again next time, because together we can safeguard our living heritage.